The Tale of the Hare and the Tortoise. A beautiful meadow. In a large and peaceful meadow, there were many animals. The sun shone brightly, the flowers bloomed in colors of red, yellow, and blue, and a small stream ran through the grass, sparkling under the sunlight. Animals like deer, squirrels, foxes, and rabbits lived happily in this meadow. The animals played together every day. They had fun running, jumping, and climbing. But among all the animals, one was very special. This animal was the hare. The fast hare. The hare was the fastest animal in the meadow. He could run faster than the wind. He loved to show off his speed to everyone. The hare would say, "Look at me. I am the fastest runner here. No one can beat me." The other animals would clap and cheer for him, but sometimes, they thought he was too proud. On the other side of the meadow lived the tortoise. The tortoise was slow and steady. He carried a heavy shell on his back, so he couldn't run fast. But he was very kind, polite, and patient. He liked to enjoy the beauty of the meadow, taking small steps and looking around. The hare's teasing. One sunny afternoon, the hare was feeling very proud. He ran in big circles around the meadow, making sure all the animals could see him. "Look at me," he shouted. "I am the fastest animal. I could run from this tree to the river in just a minute. None of you could even try to race me." The fox laughed and said, "That's true, hare. You are very fast." The squirrel said, "No one is as quick as you." The hare laughed and said, "Especially not the tortoise." He looked over at the tortoise, who was slowly walking and eating grass. "Hey, tortoise, are you still walking to the tree? You are so slow. I could take a nap and wake up before you get there." The other animals laughed at the hare's joke. The tortoise stopped and looked at the hare. He didn't get angry. Instead, he said, "Hare, you are fast, but I think I could still beat you in a race." The meadow went quiet. All the animals stopped talking. Did they hear that right? The tortoise wanted to race the hare? The hare laughed loudly. "You? Beat me? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I can finish a race before you take 10 steps." The tortoise nodded and said calmly, "We will see." Preparing for the race, the fox, who was wise and fair, stepped forward. "Let's have a race tomorrow morning," he said. "We will start at the big oak tree and end at the riverbank. Everyone can come to watch." The hare laughed. "This will be so easy. I don't even need to practice." The tortoise didn't say anything. He smiled and went home. That evening, while the hare bragged to everyone, the tortoise rested and prepared for the race. The owl, who was also very wise, said to the hare, "Be careful, hare. Pride can make us careless." But the hare didn't listen. He just laughed. Race day. The next morning, all the animals gathered by the big oak tree. The birds flew up to the branches to get a better view. The deer and foxes stood near the path. Everyone was excited to watch the race. The tortoise stood quietly at the starting line. He looked calm and ready. The hare, full of energy, hopped up and down. "Are you ready to lose, tortoise?" he asked, laughing. The fox raised his paw. "On your marks, get set go." The hare ran off like lightning. He was so fast that he disappeared in seconds. The tortoise began to walk. Step by step, he moved along the path. The hare's overconfidence. The hare ran so quickly that he was far ahead of the tortoise. He stopped to look back and couldn't even see the tortoise. "This race is too easy," he said to himself. "I have so much time." The hare saw a shady tree and decided to take a break. "I'll rest here for a while. The tortoise will never catch up." He lay down, closed his eyes, and fell asleep. The tortoise's steady steps. Meanwhile, the tortoise kept walking. He moved slowly but didn't stop. Step by step, he walked past the flowers, over small rocks, and through the tall grass. Some animals were amazed. "Look at the tortoise," said the squirrel. "He's not stopping." The wise owl said, "Slow and steady can win the race." "Let's watch and see." The animals cheer. As the tortoise walked, some animals began to cheer for him. "Go, tortoise. You can do it," they shouted. Hearing their cheers, the tortoise felt stronger. "I may be slow, but I won't give up," he said to himself. The hare wakes up. After a long nap, the hare woke up. He stretched, yawned, and looked around. "Oh no," he said. "I forgot about the race." He quickly jumped up and started running toward the finish line. The tortoise's big moment. As the hare ran closer to the riverbank, he saw something surprising. The tortoise was just a few steps away from the finish line. The hare ran as fast as he could, but it was too late. The tortoise crossed the finish line first. The winner. The meadow was filled with cheers. "The tortoise wins! The tortoise wins!" shouted the animals. The hare stopped and looked at the tortoise in disbelief. "How did you win?" he asked. The tortoise smiled and said, "Hare, you are fast, but you stopped to rest. I kept going, step by step. That's why I won. Slow and steady wins the race." The lesson. The hare felt bad, but he learned an important lesson. "I was too proud. I should not have stopped," he said. The other animals learned something too. They saw that being patient and determined is just as important as being fast. Friends forever. After the race, the hare and the tortoise became good friends. The hare promised to be less proud, and the tortoise taught him to appreciate patience. They often walked together through the meadow, laughing about their race. A new challenge. Years later, the hare and tortoise decided to race again. This time, the hare promised not to stop, and the tortoise was ready to give his best. The meadow animals cheered as their friends lined up once more. And so, their story continued, teaching new lessons to everyone who listened. What will you learn? Are you more like the hare or the tortoise? Remember, success isn't always about speed. Sometimes, it's about patience and perseverance.